We've heard it said a million times. Old cars are just built better than modern ones. So today, we're putting that theory to the test with two cars from two different generations, the BMW M5 F10 and the BMW E60. Yeah, you heard that right, just one generation apart. We want to see just how much that gap really matters when it comes to performance, so stick with me till the end of this video. And by the way, this is going to be a whole series where we'll also be running a safety comparison between these two. Alright, first up, round 1, the drag race. We're going to find out which of these cars has the better acceleration. Now, personally, I'd bet the newer car pulls ahead here, but durability, that's where the old-timers usually shine. And sure enough, look at that, our M5 F10 takes this round with ease. The acceleration on this thing is genuinely incredible, no hiccups at all, and it wins the round clean, putting the score at 1-0 in its favor. But we're just getting started. Next up, the water wading challenge. We're setting both cars to cruise control at 100 km per hour and driving straight into the water to see which engine holds up better and pushes through longer. So we go in at 100 km per hour and I honestly can't believe it. Both cars just keep chugging along. But then this is where our M5 F10 finally gives out. And somehow our old E60 keeps going, edging past the newer M5 F10 by a hair and taking the point for itself. And just like that, we're tied 1-1. Moving on to the next round, the brake test. Time to see which of these cars stops better. We lock both cars in at 100 km per hour and slam the brakes. The M5 F10 stops, and now it's the E60's turn. And unbelievably, the E60 stops almost exactly level with the M5 F10. Honestly, that caught me off guard because I expected the old car to have noticeably weaker brakes. But nope, it's a dead heat and neither car scores a point here. Next up, the tug-of-war. We chain these two cars together to see which one's got more raw power and can drag the other one back. The race ticks off and I can't believe it. Both cars are holding their ground hard, pushing everything they've got down to the wheels. So who do you think comes out on top? Drop your guesses in the comments. And there it is, the M5 F10 takes this one in the end. But hey, that doesn't take anything away from the E60. This was actually the very first car I ever reviewed on this channel, so if you haven't already, definitely go check out its dedicated video too. So based on everything we've seen so far, the newer M5 F10 is currently ahead by 1 point and the score stands at 2-1. Now, since we already brought up engine durability earlier, let's move on to the endurance test. Here's how it works. We remove the radiators from both cars, throw the transmissions into sport mode, and floor the gas pedal all the way down. This is basically the maximum amount of stress you can put on an engine with zero cooling system to back it up. Let's see which one holds up better. And sure enough, after a while, smoke starts pouring out of the newer M5 F10's engine, but not long after, smoke starts rising from the old E60 too. Still, in the end, it's the newer M5 F10's engine that gives up first, completely defeated by the old E60. And with that, the E60 grabs a point, tying the score up at 2-2. This is genuinely such an exciting matchup, and honestly, I have no idea which one's going to come out on top in the end. So stick around till the end of the video and let's find out together. Next up, we're going to send these two cars through literally thousands of speed bumps. Yeah, you heard that right, an insane number of bumps. We need to see which car can go the farthest before giving out. First up, the newer M5 F10. As you probably know from its own review, this car actually has really solid suspension performance. But surprisingly, this time it only manages to get through this much of the course before it's done. Now let's check out the old E60. Maybe, just maybe, it'll cover even less ground than the M5 F10. But incredibly, as you can see, this car is absolutely crushing this course. And when I say crushing it, I mean it's doing great considering it's basically a sports sedan. Obviously, there are cars way better suited for this kind of terrain, but still, look at that. The old E60 manages to snag the point for this round too, which puts the overall score at 3-2 in favor of the old BMW. But we're not done yet, not even close. Now we're heading into the real main event, the crash test comparison, or you could call it the ultimate safety showdown between these two. This is where we hand out one big overall score. So just to recap, going into this final stretch, the score sits at 3-2 in favor of the old BMW. First up, the rollover test. And honestly, BMWs always give me a hard time in this category when it comes to flipping them onto the roll bar. But would you look at that, the results here show that the old E60 actually performs really well. Genuinely surprising to me that the newer M5 F10 shows weaker performance in this one. What do you guys think the reason could be? Drop your theories in the comments. And in the end, it's really up to you to decide which car actually comes out on top here. Moving on to the next crash test, the 50-degree offset collision. Honestly, this one's a really tough call between the two cars. Both of them perform almost identically here, which is genuinely impressive, and I really don't know how to judge this round fairly. But to help us make a more accurate call, let's move on to our next test, the head-on collision, where both cars slam into each other at 55 kilometers per hour. And just like before, look at that. Both cars once again show basically identical performance. It's honestly wild, considering these two cars have at least a 10-year design gap between them, yet they're still holding their own equally well. To crank up the difficulty even more, let's move on to the side impact test. This one's brutal, and once again, we're seeing a near identical performance from both cars. I genuinely don't know how to separate these two when it comes to crash safety, so I really want you guys to drop a comment and tell me which car should get the point for the crash tests. Alright, after all those easier tests, we're getting into the real tough stuff now. Here, a trailer weighing around 15 tons is about to slam into both cars with let me correct that, a truck pulling a trailer weighing around 15 tons positioned in front of the car. This is where the cars are about to face the absolute maximum amount of impact force. As you saw in this test, unbelievably, at least in my opinion, the old E60 performed better here. Why? Because it actually managed to protect the rear passengers too. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on this one. Let me know what you think in the comments. Seriously, drop your thoughts below. To really put this to the ultimate test, let's crank the difficulty up one more notch. We're positioning the car at a 50-degree offset against the back of the trailer. This way the impact force on the car becomes way higher. If you're enjoying this style of video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe, and definitely let me know in the comments who you think is going to come out as the final winner of this matchup. As you can see in this test, the force applied to both cars, the M5 F10 and the E60, was extremely high. So who do you think takes this round? Remember, going into the safety segment, the score was 3-2 in favor of the old E60. If the old E60 also wins the safety round, then it's our overall champion. But if the new M5 F10 takes the crash test category, the whole competition ends in a tie. So make sure to drop your verdict in the comments so we can all figure out the final winner together. See you in the next video.